All right, here we go. Live tornado coverage. Joey only right here. We got tornado warnings going on. Grant, southeastern Saline, south central Pulaski counties. Those ones have been canceled. Some big storm action going on though in the Little Rock area right now. And if you just give me a minute or two to kind of get myself set up here, I'm going to look at that and other things. I just want to spread the news that I'm live right now and maybe get a few people to watch. So if you know people who would be interested in this, do let them know. On live, watching tornadoes. Tornado warnings in the States right now. Here we go. I'll just share it at once and we'll get to what we're getting to here. So this is a new app that I got something wrong here. Sorry, 1 second. This is a new app that I've recently acquired, and it's called Radar Scope, and it cost me a penny, I'll tell you. But so this tornado warning, there was 2 tornado warnings a minute ago, that have since been downgraded, I suppose, that the rotation isn't there. And this is one of the areas right here. That's just south of Little Rock, Arkansas. You can see there's Little Rock right there, the town center. And this storm has cycled a few times, and you can still see there's a bit of a hook there. If we look at the velocity, this shows us where some of the winds really are blasting right now. So it's kind of lost its hook shape that it had just a couple minutes ago. But because of the way things have been kind of rolling here, I expect we're going to see the repeat. This would be like the 4th time already today, I think, that I've seen tornado warnings come and go, right? And what's really concerning, though, is that this is in Little Rock, Arkansas, and we see the storm track and where they might be going. Many of these storms are passing just on the outside edge of that town. So there's still a lot of people living in this area. You know, these are very populated areas. And we look at where some of these storms look to be tracking, and these are fast moving storms. Some of them are going 70 kilometers an hour, right? So as I've been watching this last little while, they've been just whipping across. And that's why we have severe thunderstorm warnings. That's the red, and that's for all these places here. All right. Watches, tornado watch. Okay, sorry. The tornado watch is for all this hatched area right now. So that includes places like Shreveport, Louisiana, but that's moving out. It's already past Texarkana. And really it looks like as these fast moving storms have Memphis possibly in their crosshairs in the next hour, 2 or 3. St. Louis probably going to be outside of it, but we do have population centers in, and we may have more storms develop down this flank too. That's the thing, that when I look at what Windy's showing, where am I here? You know, if we watch how Windy has the storms developing this afternoon, we see them intensifying, and now we're about 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Here we go. So we have multiples of isolated storms that are moving through, ones that may have rotation into the night. And then you see where some of these storms look to be going into the evening. We have places like Birmingham, Alabama, Huntsville, Knoxville, Nashville. So just because we're not seeing those places necessarily in the crosshairs yet on this doesn't mean that more isn't going to start developing and popping up down here, right, on these lower flanks. So to me, we're still pretty early in the day. The green hatching, this all indicates flash flood warnings. So there's been heavy rain, and we can look at rain as well, precipitation depiction, where that's coming down right now. So that's pretty consistent with the shape of it at the moment. And where was the one I like here? 1 hour rainfall. So all the areas that are in blue there. And then another one I like is total storm rainfall. And that's where we really see that those areas that are in the backside here, that are in the flash flood warnings, Russellville, Fort Smith areas to the north, essentially, and Little Rock included now, these flash flood warnings. So that's when you get these storm cells unload a whole bunch of rain in some of these hills, and then they just flood down these, because it's pretty mountainous country here, pouring down. And of course, as the streams converge, and you get more and more water. Next thing you know, some of the names of these places in the States is awesome. Lake Hamilton, Lake Hamilton. So yes, right now we're seeing a bit of a step back, and this expires in 13 minutes. It won't take long, I don't think, for new tornado warnings to get issued. So we can enjoy this app. Maybe that's good reason to hit the tip button down there, hit subscribe, hit like, share, try to help me support this channel, because I go and spend $70 on radar so that I can now be the interior weatherman here with all the kind of news for you. And I can do this really quickly if you want. I can go up to Wells, BC and have a look around. We have in the Cariboo right now, and then you kind of expect this. Alexandria loves to be a little convective area, so you have in the hills along the Fraser River, little convective cells. Some of them a little bit. This one's got some red in it, so little cells. And what they are is they're like little, I call them squalls, at this time of year. Some of them might produce hail. This guy here, north of Bear Lake, crossing Highway 97, he looks like a guy that might have just that grapple kind of hail or whatever, right? Let me just get kind of a look at the direction things are moving here in the Cariboo at this hour. So this is cool. Now the Environment Canada has the Prince George radar up and running. That's just one of the things I can control here. Hey, you children. Thank you. I won't be too long, but you're being very loud. They're playing video game right now. And, I try to maintain the idea that the video game can be played without jumping on the bed or, things like that. It's like, and down by Kamloops again, our Silver Star radar here. And you see BC, nothing, terrible, but you get the idea that there's snow squalls and things like that moving through some of the hills and mountain areas. Some of the hills are making a little bit of convection. It's not very warm here today, I tell you that, in Wells. But this is one of the many cool things. I can even go and look back home and see what's going on here in my part of Ontario. But it's not really all much anymore. So anyways, that's some of the new things I'm playing with here is more powerful radar. And that means my forecasting ability for Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers, a Facebook group, and for this channel is going to be much improved. So you think about what I can do with this come fire season and lightning season, it's a whole different ball game. So give me 1 second. So again, just going back, looking at this cluster of storms again, and what it's going to do as it moves up into the Great Lakes region, this low is going to push its way into Indiana tonight, right? The center of it. And when it does that, it's going to bring all kinds of snow and stuff and bad weather into southern Ontario. So there's already all kinds of warnings that are being put up, and we can go look at those in a second if you want. And we get an idea of how those thunderstorms down south overnight are going to, maybe by 2-3 a.m. they'll start to cool off, but there's going to be a couple hours into the evening when those thunderstorms are pretty aggressive still and could do anything. And we're at that time of day now where you just don't know. And there we go, Saturday at noon, Ontario getting a good shot of that low. And then BC, like we've been seeing, like snow, but nothing super awesome. Like it's happening. Yeah, I see that, but we got this low. It's just kind of sitting right over top of us, and it's stationary. It's not doing anything. But unsettled seems to be the story for British Columbia this next week, right? This low sitting off the coast, and its counterclockwise rotation is slapping us into, bringing moisture from the Pacific in, and really, compared to other places, we're not trying too hard, and we don't have those crazy ribbons of precipitation like we had for weeks going on at a time. I mean, there's definitely something to work with out there in the ocean, but it's not approaching what I would say is atmospheric river or anything like that. So we're just getting these hailers and squallers and convective flurries, things like that, right? No warnings, no watches, no special weather statements for BC or anything like that. And as we look at next work week, not a real change. The temperature really isn't exciting, right? You're hoping to move into spring, and people were excited because they put that long range GFS forecast out saying by April 18th we might actually be into periods of 20-degree weather through parts of BC. The veiled and coded thing that I was saying there was you're gonna have to wait a couple weeks before it's nice. Tuesday, look at that. Maybe some warmer weather on Tuesday in interior BC. 3 Celsius. That's smoking hot warm. And what do we got the next day? 5 p.m. 4 degrees in just random places in BC. It's a little bit warmer around Vancouver, I guess, and Chilliwack and whatnot. And look at that. It's warmest up in the Prince George Plateau area here in Fort St. James. But it's next week. It's not looking to be really what I would call an awesomely warm week. A little bit better by the time we hit Thursday. These could change. I'll say that these forecast parameters could change for sure. And it depends on who you want to listen to as well. If Thursday is looking okay on ECMWF on GFS, well, it's got wider expectations for warmth. So, GFS is usually a little bit bolder in its prediction, and ECMWF seems to be a little bit more reserved. But if that's the case, then you're going to see some really nice sort of Chinook arching into the prairies, and things would warm up more so next week for us in BC. So let's get back to the real talk of the hour and see what's happening here still. So in 4 minutes, that last tornado warning will expire, and they'll probably issue another one shortly after. So, and we do have some rotation being seen again on these southern cells. So we'll look at that in a second. I'm not sure if anyone's watching this or not, but I'm really trying to just get more in practice here with what I'm doing. Susan Payne wants to share her happiness seeing a good aurora borealis last night. That's a good point, actually. We could go and have a look at that right now. As a matter of fact, is it the whole of Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers is just exploding with photographs of people who can't believe what they saw last night. So, let's humor some of our Lauren Smith. He's always watching the Northern Lights. This guy puts photos up all the time. So you knew he'd be out there. Daniel Garcia. It'd be nice if people, when they post pictures to Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers, if you live in British Columbia and you want to join us, please do join our Facebook group. It'd be nice if you put your location, right? We want to know, but you get a bit of a corona effect going on there, right? Bosu's Thursday night, Greg Reilly. He's an actual photographer, so I'm sure we'll see more imagery from him. Oh yeah, I see what's going on here. This is Greg Reilly's what do you call that? Time lapse. So we had a bit of cloud activity, but you could still see it going off. That's fantastic. Nice video, Greg. And look how the clouds move too. That's far out. Wowzers. I'm live talking weather. Hold on. So that's some pretty cool videos, man. Right on, Greg. Warren Lowe. Got 2 cameras running, but I won't be able to put it all together to tomorrow evening. I have to go to Kamloops early. So he's somewhere in the Kamloops area. Lauren Smith at Pressie Lake again. Look at the stars in that photo. That's a cool photo. And that's the great thing about Northern Lights watching in the wintertime is you can go stand on the ice and get the big view of the sky. And in the summertime, you are stuck on the shore unless you go get a boat. Vernon seeing it good last night. Christine Jensen, regular watcher here. So all kinds of trippy colors. There's Frankie and Tina Marie, Kamloops. So even right in Kamloops, people could see them. So, and I think the chance, we could have a look right now and see for ourselves. But I think we're still looking at a pretty good potential for aurora forecast tonight. So that's 7 right now. 7 was the best I've seen last night. The geomagnetic field is expected to be active to minor storm levels March 25th, unsettled to minor storm levels 26th, and quiet to active levels. So it's starting to cool off. But we had some were thinking that this was going to be the big night. And I guess so far we're not seeing that coming to true. Maybe, last night's show was so good. Too bad the clouds kind of screwed it on me. Blind Bay, BC. The last one, I don't bloody know. I've seen some weird things like that. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. I once saw a big square, a big rectangle that was it was almost this sort of color, like, blood, but it was like a real rectangular shape, like Shale Fielding. And that's in Shuswap, Blind Bay. So thank you. Like she's got here, location and time, right? That's the minimum of good weather reporting that we're kind of asking for. If you wanted to, you could say the temperature and which direction you're facing, and more details, the better. But people are sharing things on their phone. This is what Brandon Hauk was seeing just after we had recorded last night. So I was making sure everyone knew. And that's what I try to do is make sure you know. And here we have a cat who's oblivious. My cat was out with me last night watching too, but he seemed to be not that interested in the Northern Lights. And Williams Lake at 2 a.m. from the hospital. So I'm not sure if this is from the window or from the parking lot or something. It looks like from the parking lot, I would suppose. But impressive. And then 100 Mile House, Jenny Galan Giesbrecht. And then what's this? This is some far out shit. Strong thermal emission velocity enhancement. This phenomenon is still new to scientists, who are working to understand all its details. Steve is not an aurora. Steve is caused by a ribbon of hot gases rather than particles like electrons and protons in the auroras, like the auroras. So this is interesting. So if you ever see this, it's called Steve. And it's not the aurora borealis. It's Steve. Hey, Steve. That's a lot to read. So, you know, you can join Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers and see for yourself. And, but yeah, just crazy colors last night. Here's a dog. And here's that's cool, man. That's right cool. That was a 150-mile house. Dogs just hanging out, watching light. And yeah, you know, there you go, blind beast. So you get more or less most of the, so here's that animation. Long range outlook is 20-degree days in BC around the second week of April. And I was not lying. You can see, you know, the warmest air is going to be definitely sitting about where that tornado activity is happening today in severe thunderstorm. But this is kind of the projection of how that warm air is going to spread itself out. It looks like it wants to come our direction second week of April. So that would be really nice. And if that's the case, okay, enough of that for now. If that's the case, here's a satellite image right now that's going on of our trippy set of storms. And you can see here's one kind of out in its own. Those are ones that like to just get spinning out of the blue. You'd be surprised, right? You think the bigger the storm, the more dangerous, but no, that's not always how it works. So safe to start gardening. I don't know what you mean safe, but I guess you mean like so that the frost doesn't fuck it all up, right? So yeah, I mean that time in Wells is always so we have a new tornado warning now in Arkansas, and let's quickly get ourselves into the story. So here we are, Carthage. This is all areas south of Little Rock. So these lines of storms that were kind of aiming at Little Rock seem to have, thankfully, kept south of. And Little Rock definitely got some weather coming through it. And lots of rain and whatnot, but it's managed to stay out of the severe zones. And you can see those severe zones are where the reds are showing up, right? That's intensifying there. That's going to be more wind, more rain. The radar is picking up, essentially. Look at all the lightning strikes now, too. That's the most lightning strikes I've seen yet today. So that's becoming a very active storm. So let's see what we're saying here. Tornado warnings for northern Cleveland County in southeastern Arkansas. These storms are moving so fast, too. 55 miles an hour. How fast is that in kilometers? That's like 80 or something, right? So, I mean, like, look out. You see it coming. And like, think about how fast you can go from one place to another at 80 kilometers an hour. And if you didn't have corners to turn and you didn't have stoplights and other people in the way, you just went straight 80 across the fields and plains, and you would get there pretty fast, right? So we think about that kind of stuff, right? Severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. So there's rotation that's being seen. Frankie McDonald's coming in. Right on, Frankie. So rotation's been seen in there. Radar indicated rotation. Flying debris will be dangerous. Don't seem to have much on. Hey, Frankie, how you doing?
It's lots of severe weather down the southern states where Donna Mantis is at.
Yeah, I mean, look at this as a new tornado warning, Frankie.
Same Boston lives. He's one of the guys on Donna Mantis podcast every Tuesday nights. Donna Mantis.
I think my friend Aaron's coming on too. I don't know if he can see or hear yet, or if he's on. But if you can, you get your camera and mic working, Aaron, say hi and meet Frankie. And we're just having a look here. So yeah, most of those the real bad storms were aiming at Little Rock, but have kept just south of Frankie. So right now we have a tornado warning, and lots of lightning is happening in that storm, right? It's really angry. And that's headed over the night towards places like Bowling Green and Nashville and places that have lots of population, Memphis, Tennessee. So it could be real bad tonight, Frankie.
Hey, this is Joey Oli.
Hi, Joey.
Hey, how's it going there?
Are you Frankie?
I'm doing great.
We're watching tornadoes right now. What are you doing?
Well, British Columbia. He fights fires. He runs his podcast every Thursday night.
Yeah, we're live right now. And we're live right now, and we're watching tornadoes that are happening near Arkansas, in Arkansas.
Live in Arkansas.
He's in Wells, British Columbia. Joey's in Wells, British Columbia.
Yeah, we're watching the weather in Arkansas, but we wouldn't be stupid enough to go there. I mean, I think Little Rock, besides having potential tornadoes hit it tonight, I guess the danger of that's passing, but you know, Little Rock also, did you know that's like the most violent city in America or something, Frankie? It's like, it's crazy. There's like 300,000 people there and they have like 350 murders a year. It's like the last thing these people need is a tornado. You know what I'm saying? So the warnings are kicking up, right? And we have extended, so we got new tornado watches in effect. So these watches here, look at this. That's quite the nice storm there. Okay, I think Frankie's already gone. That was fun. Frankie McDonald, everybody. You just never know when he'll show up. Here we go. So here's where tornado watch is, and that's the area we're just kind of looking at. And then we got this other one, Arkansas, Louisiana, Oklahoma. So these two big, broader areas are the areas that we're looking at. Little Rock being just on the outside. And then here we have a tornado warning from this cell. And this is our guy. So we'll stop the animation here in a second. And there it goes. Oops. So crazy amount of lightning in that Carthage area. You can see the red there's a real high cloud top. Yet today I've not heard of tornadoes on the ground. But here with the velocity, you see there's definitely some velocity going on there somewhere. And you can see where the calm is in the green. So here's our high velocity radar returns, right? And they're showing us very good indications of, there's a lot of distortion in this here. So maybe the next image will be better. And so this is one of my new toys. I hope this will come in handy. I think that when we get to fire season and I'm watching individual thunderstorms and what they're doing, which ones are severe, which ones are producing the most lightning, which ones are rapidly intensifying, which ones are de-escalating, things like that, right? So I'll have a pretty good idea. I'll have more forecasting power, right? And it's like these are the radar images more or less that the professionals who are issuing these warnings are watching. So we'll keep ourselves focused on this one. This is tornado warning in effect, and you can see, I don't know, the hook isn't very dominant, very clear, but we definitely have some very dense sections in here in the storm, right? So that's like the radar is flinging itself out, and it's where it's catching the densest part of the cloud. It's obviously going to be where the cloud's the tallest, where it's the most updraft, where there's the most things going on. And what I've seen before, like in the, I think it was the Bowling Green tornado that hit Kentucky on December, I think it was a December 10th, 2021 one, that you could see in the radar return the debris field of the fucking storm destroying the city. So there was all kinds of different types of radar feeds that were put out after that, where you could clearly see. But yeah, we don't have purples in here yet. You know, it's still, you know, there's aggressive, it's tall, but I don't think this is the most that it's capable of yet tonight. And for what I know, I've not seen tornadoes on the ground anywhere or heard of yet, and I've been checking, but and how giving his regards that he can't jump on. I'm sharing that right now. Okay. So yes, this is what I'm playing with, my new and I hope Little Rock is beautiful. Yeah, that's what I did notice too. I was watching. So that was about was I was watching a video called "The Worst Place in Every State," and then there's a couple places that got exceptionally bad marks for violence and poverty and criminal behavior, thefts, robberies, the odds, and Little Rock was like surprisingly high. There was this place in Florida, and it might be like actually called Florida City, which would be really ironic if the worst place in Florida was called Florida City. It's like, well, where does Florida man come from? He comes from Florida City, right? So, and that's the part of the economy of the United States and what's changed there. And, I think people in America have really gotten the shaft a lot, right? So I don't think that you can't blame the people of Little Rock for the fact that their civilization is not succeeding necessarily, right? So we're talking about some of that, how that storm's going to move into Ontario tonight, and that's why we have their widespread snowfall warnings. So places like Sudbury, for example, could see 15 to 20 centimeters by Sunday morning, mixed with ice pellets and snow. Maybe that could reduce the total snowfall, right? So that's Chapleau, Gogama, 15 to 20 centimeters. Again, less. So that's, and then in the south side of Ontario, you'll get in Hamilton, Dufferin, Innisfil, Grey, Bruce, Halton, Peel, Huron, Perth, London, Middlesex, Oxford, Brant, Waterloo, and Wellington. These are all places that could see 2 to 3 millimeters of ice accretion building up. Freezing rain is forecast to begin Saturday morning and may last for a few hours before transitioning over to rain as temperatures rise above zero. Ice accretion is not expected to be significant. Strong winds gusting to 70 to 80 are also expected Saturday morning into Saturday evening for those parts of southern Ontario. That could lead to power outages. So something to take note of. Special weather statement for, let's look at home. I like to look at Bancroft, Bon Echo. Snow followed by rain Saturday into Sunday night. Snow is expected to last for a few hours before transitioning to rain Saturday evening or Saturday night. Snowfall accumulations 5 to 10 centimeters possible. However, near Algonquin Park and Ottawa River may receive as much as 10 to 15 centimeters before the change to rain. Given the snowfall, impact to travel can be expected. So if you ever watched any of my videos, Mom, you would know that you could see 10 centimeters right now in the Hastings Highlands and Lowlands areas. Okay, so that's what that storm that's hitting into that low is affecting all these places down south with the tornadic weather, but then it's winter weather on the north side of it, and that's what's pushing its way through Kentucky tonight into the Great Lakes area. And places like Caledonia could see 90 kilometers an hour winds on Saturday afternoons. So if those of you in Ontario, in Dunnville, that's along Lake Erie. So my friend Izzy, for example, down there, you could see some very extreme winds. So that's what they're saying about that. That's what they're saying. So thanks everybody for coming to the channel, and I really appreciate we got new tornado warning, Mississippi. Here we go. New tornado warning. Hook's got a weird angle to it. Braxton, Mississippi. Delow. Let's see what we got here? Severe thunderstorm. It's moving. It's over Union near Panola, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. Significant radar indicated rotation, tornado hazard. The storm will be near Panola at 6:15 Central, Mendenhall and Piney Woods 6:25, Cato and Martinville around 6:35 Central Time, Johns around 6:40, White Oak around 6:45, and Burns around 6:55. Other locations impacted by this tornadic thunderstorm could include Parkville, Delow, Braxton, and Puckett. And look at that. We just saw in that change of the radar feed. Look at that. Ooh, that's the first time we've seen that color today. So that's a very strong indicator. And we'll go right away to velocity. Just have a look. So there you go. There seems to be, and the shape of it too. I usually expect to see that hook go the other way, and it seems like it wants to hook in. And who knows? I mean, there are anticyclonic, and so they're tornadoes that go the other way occasionally. So you figure that out. So that's right there. See what that is? Jackson, Mississippi. Just to the north of. So these storms moving up towards Morton, Forest, Sebastopol. This particular cell, I mean, if you live in one of those places, this may not be good news, and it's moving fast. Louisville, like that cell is in less dangerous. It's facing into less populated areas necessarily than some of these other ones up here that are moving right towards Memphis now, right? So Memphis, Tennessee, starting to become, it's in that tornado warned area now, right? The tornado watch area. And this warning for Mississippi, that's on for the next 57 minutes. So that's expected to be pretty significant, I would think. And I'm wondering if anybody in the storm chasing world is down there right now. I know there's a way, if Brandon Houck was on here, that I could actually find storm chasers that are reporting on here, but I don't know how to do that. But we see in the digital velocity right there, definite things are going on here, right? To the reflectivity. And then tail in behind. But the rotation seems to be in here. So I don't know. I mean, I have to be on the ground to know what's going on. If another funnel could form here, if this is the only area in threat, this may turn into something. But definitely we're seeing the purples start to show up and look at that. Like that almost has a debris look to it. I wonder if that is a tornado on the ground. And that's the one thing I wish it would say in these warnings, is if one's been seen or not. So that's scary. That looks to me like something to watch out for. Delow, Mendenhall. Yeah, that looks interesting to me. That almost has a classic debris kind of signature to it. Like the tornadoes picking up dust and objects and dirt. Maybe what I can do quickly is just look to see if there is any our storm chasers out there right now. Like I know Reed Timmer's on the ground. Ryan Hall, y'all, but he's going to be in his house watching. So he's doing what I'm doing, and he's better at it. So you probably want to check out Ryan Hall, y'all. Brandon Kopic's out there. And Reed's just been, how many hours have you been driving for, Reed? So here's Reed. He's just my favorite storm chaser. And he's just been driving for a long time here. But he does not have eyes on any tornadoes going on. He still looks good, though. You're keeping your youth.
Trying to stay ahead of the storm, everybody.
Like, Reed, do you ever
The
age?
storm is still headed toward Mendenhall. The rotation has increased a little bit.
Ah, but he is in the right place.
See the velocity on arms?
Ah, so now I know why Reed's been driving all day. He went right past all those ones in near Little Rock,
Separating, starting to get,
and he's
trying to get
going
straight.
right to where that
Street.
that real tornado possibility seems to be happening.
It's happening.
It's happening.
Tornado.
Tornado on the ground, it sounds like. He's got the details. He knows. Man, your wipers are really going, dude. Like,
By the time you
not even raining. Yeah, so they're having some camera problem there with Reed. Let's just
Here's the Mendenhall tornado warning storm. Pretty broad, but it is still tornadic. It has a nice on it. Our storm is starting to ramp up significantly.
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Start easing out.
Oh yeah, it's ramping up big. I'm ramping up. It's trying to do something. Something good. I take.
Well, once we get to 920, hopefully it'll be mature enough.
There's Ashton.
Oh, you should notice you. I see he's trying to get it. Trying to one up.
Yeah, it might take you all the way to the Delta before you go. Storm southeast of Hamburg and southeast Arkansas is really starting to ramp up. It could develop tornado potential on approach to Montrose and Portland. So watch this storm. It's that cross it one headed up toward Portland and Montrose. Decent rotation in there, and it is in a radar hole. Strong wind shear up there, differential heating. Yeah, we could do one too. Our storm and that one, maybe. Do you like that storm? Dude, Ashton just ripping it.
Oh, is that where he's heading?
No, he's just going to the next.
Oh, okay.
well, Reed's not
Has a lot of influence. Definitely going to the
too much into the mess yet.
right on the southern tip.
But you know, if someone's going to put himself in the worst place, it's going to be Reed Timmer. So you definitely want to go to his channel and subscribe to him and check him out. He's
Hold on to your butts. Here we go.
he's going to pass this guy first.
Yep.
So we'll check back in with Reed, I think, in a little bit and see what he's doing. You definitely want to subscribe to Reed. He's one of the guys to watch. Ryan Hollyall, definitely. He's got 31,000 people watching his feed right now. So, you know, he's better at this than I am. But thank you if you're watching. I appreciate it. So someone else who's good, Brandon Kopic. Let's see what he's doing right now. Like Reed, he's driving. And he's trying to get to that Hall one as well.
Hey, do you have a spotter network place file loaded?
What was that?
Do you have a spotter network place file loaded?
Yeah, why, what's up?
Do you see the mass migration northeast out of Boynesboro to 20? Like, the huge migration on 20 all of a sudden? Like, everybody's just chugging east. Like, out of nowhere. Like, people popped up on there that weren't even on there.
Yeah, I see that. Everybody's freaking out, blasting east now.
Yeah, everybody's gonna over, I don't know. I'm gonna end up sitting somewhere in Jackson twiddling my thumbs in a Waffle House for probably a good hour. I can feel it.
Chaser's all trying to figure out where to go. He looks like he's heading in the right direction.
Well, I'm just about Jackson now.
He's going to intercept those storms as they push north.
To the east side of Jackson,
So that means give
no
him,
matter what, it's not gonna be east.
well, at the rate the storm is moving. At the rate the storm is moving, you know, give him. Oh yeah, we got more tornado watch warnings now. This is it's happening. It's beginning. Back to radar scope. We have this guy Cell Z2. And we got classic hook looking features, aggressive. That's telling. And this is the new one, Prairie. National Weather Service in Little Rocks issued tornado warning for southeastern Prairie County, central Arkansas, central Monroe County, northeast central Arkansas County until 7:15 p.m. Central Time. Tornado producing, storm capable producing tornado 9 miles southwest of Clarendon, moving at 55 miles an hour. Radar indicated rotation. These feeds are looking better and better, if you noticed. These returns we're looking at, you know, since I started watching these storms several hours ago, they're looking more likely to produce now, right? So the tornado warning for Jefferson just expiring. Cleveland, Arkansas, Jefferson, Arkansas. But we have some really strong rotation there. And then Mississippi, this one looks interesting. I mean, you can see almost the shape of rotation right there. I mean, and this, I mean, maybe somewhere in here you have a tornado on the ground right now or about to be. But that's some definite indications there. And there's our velocity look. So you see deep velocity hooking all in through here. Delow, Mendenhall, just north of, just south of Braxton. The storm probably going to affect Puckett, Mississippi, Polkville. And again, these aren't forest. These aren't, you know, huge population centers. So that's some positivity. New tornado warning in Arkansas. So our storm that whose warning just expired, they've now issued a new one for this area. That's, again, good looking radar returns, right? Montrose, Jerome. These are all places in Arkansas that could be seeing. And then in the next hour or two, Arkansas City. Anything else in here interesting? I mean, these are probably interesting towns if you live in them, don't get me wrong. But again, we're in the next little while staying out of major population centers even there. But we know that these storms are heading towards Memphis, Tennessee, and into Kentucky. So there could be some real moments still coming in the coming hours, right? So here's our new warning. So here's the one for Prairie that expires in 43 minutes. And here's the one that's brand new in Arkansas. So near Portland, Montrose, Jerome, that's pretty nicely defined. "10 miles east of Hamburg, moving northeast at 60 miles per hour. So these are storms that are moving like as fast as you drive on the highway, man. Like 65 is 100, right? That's like 90-kilometer-an-hour storm or whatever. It's just fucking going. So by the time, that's the problem. If you're chasing these, you got to chase these ones, you know, and the speed at which they're moving to me is worrying. Danger storm will be in Portland at 6:35, Montrose at 6:40, Dermot McMillan Center at 6:50. Again, hazardous quarter-size hail, tornado radar indicated rotation. Max hail size 1 inch. So these are that's concerning. This is the beginning tonight. There's going to be a lot of this. This is not, and you know, look at how much lightning's been tracking through there. Just ridiculous. If you were in the core of this storm, and I suspect it's a wet storm, man. So let's have a look at a couple different things here. So storm relative velocity, definitely seeing some good colors in here. We'll go right back to hydrometer. So you see where the moisture is, where the tops of those clouds probably step out at. Enhanced echo tops. And we see how tall that storm is, how aggressive that rotation is in there. That's a producer. Let me go check out rainfall. Heavy in that area, and you know, not so much around it. So these are really densely packed little storm, right? So that's just some of the many things that this gives us the ability to look at, you know, and this is an awesome forecasting tool. And yeah, I spent some money on it. So, but I think, you know, as I was saying, as we get into BC fire season, this will be an awesome tool to have. So now we got those 3 tornado warnings, 2 in Arkansas, and we got the one in Mississippi, which is looking very good. And it's moving pretty fast too. And we see classic hook echo shape. So, I mean, like the chance that there's actually a tornado happening in there right now as we speak, I'd say is pretty good. that's what I would be looking for as a forecaster. And that's why it's tornado warned, because they saw that behavior starting, and they're not just passively looking at storm to storm to storm like I am. They're, the couple people staring at one cell and everything it's doing, right? So, and they have other forms of data as well. So flash flood warnings all over that area, tornado warnings, cats and dogs living together, pandemonium. And it's just getting started. What's people saying here? Well, we got lots of comments. Johnny, are you in Arkansas? The only tornado I was in was 1979 when I lived in New Orleans. Was in a mobile home, spent the night. I got to increase my font size here. There we go. My TV's a lot further away from me. There we go. She was in the bathtub hanging on, but it passed. I live near Crime Bluff. It's beautiful too. Crime Bluff. I only drove through the mid-states, lived in Dayton for a bit and through Nashville. Well, I guess, Johnny, nice to meet you. And the good news is that it seems like you have now in the greater Little Rock area, kind of out of the danger zone. Seasonally, I drove through the mid-states, lived in Dayton for a bit, and Nashville. I got the Nashville hat on today, you noticed. And lived in Grass Valley, Oregon in 1980 when St. Helens blew. So wherever Susan Paynes goes, trouble happens. They're all Manx cats there. Weird. Manx cats. So if you're new to the channel, please hit like and subscribe, and please enjoy the fact that I'm trying to build something here that's different. So let's see who's chasing here. Yeah, he's just at a gas station, so that's not. We want to find a storm chaser who's not at a gas station. What do we have here? Vince Welty. He's in Louisiana. Okay, I'll turn it on. I'll turn it on for you. Let's see what Vince is doing. And here he is, parked and looking that direction. And what do you got? So he sees this little storm coming through, and it's isolated. It's down here in the bottom corner where he's parking. He's looking at it, and he thinks it's going to get rotating. He's making a bet that, and sometimes this is the thing to do. I mean, there's different ways to chase. I mean, some people just spend all day driving, and I personally couldn't do that. I tend to want to sit in an area where I thought was going to have a lot of action. So the first line's already passed him earlier this morning, but now there's some tail storms popping up, like we saw in the windy diagram would be happening south of the action, right? So he's bet on the first round wasn't that great, but you know what? I'll sit here anyways and wait for the second round, and maybe he will have bet correctly, because that doesn't look like it's that bad of a little storm coming at him. Through the cloud and rain, we can't see much of a definition of it. But we do see that in his little radar down there. See the storm.
All right, so we've got a new mesoscale discussion here. I'll get that info for you in a minute, but basically the moral of the story is here, we're kind of equal distance to either of these problem areas. The Winnsboro, which is that cluster south of I-20, or a couple of new cells that may be trying to develop south of I-20, west of Brookhaven, Mississippi. We're kind of an equal distance, so I want to give this a minute and make sure we make a sound decision, because once we make a decision, there might not be any going back. National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center highlighted this area right here and says supercells should intensify during the next hour or so, corresponding to an increase in tornado potential.
It's just
All
getting
right,
started.
We're going to hedge back to the west a little bit. You know, I don't chase storms based solely on the SPC or based on warnings. I've seen plenty of tornadoes that haven't even been warned. So, but the fact that the consensus here among all of the brains in the weather world, aka SPC and myself, there's consensus now. There's agreement. I'm not an outlier. It looks like this is kind of an area that we might want to find ourselves in here pretty shortly. That supercell southeast of Jackson still is looking kind of interesting. That could end up being a problem as it crosses I-20 here, maybe in 45 minutes or so. But thanks for your patience, everybody. This is live storm chasing. This isn't edited. This isn't run by somebody sitting behind a desk that doesn't go out and do this. This is literally me, right? So we had some folks I removed were griping about not seeing anything, but understand, guys, that I put literally everything in my body into this live stream, every ounce of effort I have, and I'm not. I don't drive all these miles and all this time. I don't come out here to not see a tornado, right? So the goal is always to see the best storm or the best tornado that's out there, and I'm not willing to throw that away to go see a rain shower kind of thing. That's why sometimes we use speed to compensate, and I don't mean floor it. I mean, sometimes you'll find, I'll start traveling. Let's say I'll start going east, but I'll only go, I might go 10 miles an hour under the speed limit because we want to use speed to adjust to get us to the right area. We also may sit between two areas like we just did because they both look equally decent, and we want to make sure we make a good decision. So there's a lot of decision making. This isn't just running around like with a chicken with my head cut off. I'm in my 9th year of doing this now.
9 years.
This is just the name of the game, and it's really tough to live stream because, like I said, people join the storm chasing live streams because they want to see tornadoes, and the frank and blunt truth of storm chasing is a lot of it is driving. That's just kind of like it is.
The other side of it's being ready.
We can, until you've come out here and done this like several times, it's really tough to kind of get that concept, because even when I started storm chasing like 8.5 whatever years ago, whatever it was tough to get
8 years.
I was disappointed all the time because it was just driving and driving and driving.
You're a young man.
It pays off, right? So especially when we get into May. April, May, June, and July usually pay off really well.
Well, he's getting closer to the edge of that cell. You can see the southwest there. They got some darkness going on there.
Fingers crossed, folks, that our Winnsboro storm does something for us. I'm not saying we want to see like a violent tornado, mow down a bunch of homes, but a tornado in a field would be all right.
Yeah, I tend to look at it, it's like, I'm not a crazy man for wanting to see the big fire. I will want to be there when it's happening, right? If it's going to happen, then I want to be there for it. Not that necessarily, I don't care if it happens 5 times, as long as I'm there for all 5 of them. That's great. Oh, yeah, fire season with only 5 fires. I'm down for that.
So
as long as I work all 5 of them.
Just basically set a favorable corridor for supercell intensification.
That's the way that weather nerds are.
Is in the progress of evolving across portions of northeast Louisiana, southwest Arkansas, and west central Mississippi, aka where we are right now, this afternoon and early evening. Boundary layer moisture is increasing amid substantial pressure falls. All right, beneath a corresponding low-level jet around 50 knots at 850 millibars. Holy smokes, that's impressive.
Yep.
The corresponding
It's a deep.
DGX VW. Okay, so the VWP at Jackson, which is, I'll explain that.
Look
in
at
a
it
minute.
too. It's starting to get
Photograph
that.
has increased
Starting to get a
in
nice
size
look.
and clockwise curvature during the past few hours.
It's starting to get a nice
Nearly
visual of the
200 meters squared per
front
second
of the
squared
storm.
0 to 1 SRH has been sampled at Jackson, Mississippi. As the low-level jet strengthens even further, photographs should only get larger along and south of the east-west oriented marine front, shifting northward. Current thinking is that a few supercell clusters near the Mississippi River will intensify as they track northeastward. Increase in tornado potential, some strong to intense.
Possible long track tornadoes. Possible. I mean, it's starting to get dark there already. You can see people have their headlights on. It's
So I think
a little
we're
bit of the
actually
rain
in a
now.
good spot to catch the storm right up here on 20. I'll find the next good overpass or next elevated spot we can get on, and we're just going to point the camera toward the storm and let it come to us.
and people are donating to his channel.
And thanks, Karen, for the super chat and being a longtime supporter.
Thanks, Karen.
But this storm near Winsboro, well, it's north of Winsboro now, it's still struggling, but it's going to be fixing to cross just to our west here, maybe in 20 to 25 minutes or so, and we're going to be right in the path of. In fact, you can see some of the clouds associated with it there on camera. But if you are just joining us, consider subscribing. We're at 65,330 subscribers.
Holy.
That is since December of 2021.
I got
66,000
1,600. I'm
by the end
like
of the night.
super
If
happy
everybody
about
can
that.
Subscribe. That'd be awesome. Subscribing is free. You just click the button. It just means that you're going to start getting our live streams on your homepage.
He makes a good point.
Also subscribe over to our Radar Omega. That's our other YouTube channel, is our Radar Omega channel, where Drew Richards is doing live coverage. Go help support our small business and jump over there and give a subscription over there. Real easy to do that. You can click the tag in the title of this video, or you can go to seethestorm.com. That's my website, and click on the Radar Omega YouTube channel button. That'll take you over there. Also consider liking the video as you come in. It's Friday, which is actually one of our slowest days for live streaming. We usually don't get that many views on a Friday. So we'll see what we can muster up. Yeah, you can notice it with these clouds. They are really moving. The low-level clouds here are moving really, really quick. That's actually a good observation there.
The storm's moving as fast as he is almost. Doesn't have to pass anyone, and it's, doesn't have to read weather reports. Kind of want to see what this one does now. Here we go. I got a report of a fire. Okay, so that's not what I thought it was. There we go. Flishy, flashy. And you can hear it on his radio at the exact same time. So I love to have my radio
Storm
on.
kind of looks like garbage again. Go figure.
I love to have my radio on for hearing frequency of lightning strikes.
We're entering a radar hole, so.
And you notice how that strike was straight down, and the radar, or the AM frequencies went. The very solid. So that's how when you're listening to the AM radio, you can really tell what the lightning's doing just by the way it sounds, if you believe that or not. So I'll sit there sometimes. I can't see the lightning,
Starting to get
but I
some
can hear it
rain.
go. I can tell like the length of the lightning bolt, the time it takes for sound to travel from the closest part of that lightning bolt and then the furthest part of that lightning bolt. And so you can tell, oh, that's stretching across the sky. Whereas when it's a straight strike down, it just has that boom, zap. This guy's Storm, I don't know. He's been doing it for 8 years. But I think rapid intensification is still possible. That's the thing. It's early. Well, dude. Does someone actually have something? Is anybody actually seeing a storm? That's what I want to know. Reed's still just driving. Brandon Kopic's driving, but his storm looks better. At least he's going in the right way. Yeah, he's going towards this one in Polkville. So that's the one we were looking at in the radar last. And Brandon Kopic's on that one. I'm just gonna mute that for a second. So before we go to Brandon, we'll just look at radar scope. See, here he is. Here's where he is. This is a tornado warning storm. This has great looking hook. He's getting pretty close to Polkville, so he's going to intercept this storm very soon. And look, there's even a town called Brandon, so maybe Brandon Kopic's the guy to watch right now. He seems to have something to show. Northeast at 30 knots, moving fast, and that to me is, I mean, it's had that look now for a while. To me, that seems like it's a tornado is happening. I would have to guess after this long of that shape being there. So we'll go and have a look at Brandon Kopic here for a minute.
But it looks good overall as a healthy supercell. If it can ramp up, that will be a lot better for it. like I said, guys, the good news about being on this storm is we're on this tornadic supercell. But if by chance this thing goes out of the favorable environment, we can just book it back west of Jackson and go north on 55, and we'll be ahead of all the stuff that's developing to the west. It looks like the book is starting to gust out. We'll see if it's going to cycle, whether or not that hook's going to gust out and it recycles, or if these storms that are to the south, these showers that are popping up, are going to cause destructive interference. We'll see. We'll see here very soon. We're in a good spot if it's going to get its act together. But will it? That's what we're waiting to see. Will it cycle? I think it will. But still watch that stuff to west.
I think by what we've heard about the favorable environment, it's going to recycle.
Stephanie Goodman Morlium, thank you so much for your PayPal donation.
I think he's going to be a little while chasing this. He's going to try to get himself further up the 20 here towards this community of forest. New tornado warnings for Bolivar. I think Brandon's going to, he's in luck. I don't know if he's seen this yet. My kids are playing upstairs, having fun. Which means I'm going to have to soon. I got supper started while I was gone the last time. Here's our storm. Expires in 59 minutes. This is this one. Okay. And he's somewhere up here. Where do we go? So the one, yeah, it expires in 14 minutes. The one in Forest City where he's at. But it's got a good hook. And they've issued a new tornado warning for the next area over, right? So Brandon's driving along this guy. He's going to catch him. So we'll check back in with him in a minute. So what do we got on this one? Over Jersey Point, 13 miles southeast of Rower, 50 miles an hour it's moving. Tornado, quarter size hail. Radar indicated rotation. It seems to me that tornadoes been seen. Benoit 705, Renova 725, Mound Bayou 730, Shelby around 735. So Arkansas. There's this one in Arkansas. There's this one in Mississippi, Polkville. Now I'm getting my bearings here. And we got this guy, Mississippi. And it's starting to get a nice developed tail. Okay, so now we know what we're looking at. That could mean, unfortunately for Brandon, Kopik. Yeah. Okay. I'm thinking about this as I'm seeing it. Sorry. If anyone's still watching, I am, it looks like all chaos is breaking out. Yeah, the storm is weakening. But, oh, okay, I'm screen sharing. Good.
Like the data issue of severe thunderstorm warning for the core of this storm. There's a tornado possible tag, and it is. So if I look at it right now with the current way the storm is cycling, they don't intend to be tornadoes.
Cycling. So he's into it, but it's recycling, and it's not ready. So anyways, I'm going to cook supper for a little bit and take care of things in the house here. But now we had a pretty good idea of what to look for and what's going on right now. And we have lots of tornado activity that's being seen, and they're high precipitation tornadoes, rain wrap. If they're in there, that makes it especially dangerous. And I think still it's only hitting 7 o'clock at night there. This is really when the threat was starting to actually ramp up, right? So when you heard the one Vince there, the one storm chaser saying that this is going on, that sorry, I'm listening to my kids now. Yeah, I think it's time for me to say goodbye. Okay, thanks for stopping in, and later tonight I hope to be back on here, but if not, you can also check Interior Weather and Wilderness Watchers. If you're in British Columbia, you can also follow me on the Facebook. You don't have to send me a friend request necessarily. You can just hit follow, Joey only, and anything that I'm seeing, I'll be letting people know out there. So hope you have a good afternoon, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, everybody.